Donald Trump has requested that the National Security Council be prepared in the Situation Room. This is as per US media. Trump to leave G7 early amid the Israel-Iran war, and Trump has said that he needs to be back in US as soon as he can. He also cited obvious reasons to leave G7 early. In fact, he has ordered National Security Council to be prepared. My colleague Geeta Mohan is now joining us with more details on this. Geeta, Trump ordering National Security Council to be prepared and also leaving the G7 early in view of the escalating tensions between Iran and Israel. What does this signify?
Well, it just means that the conversations that he had yesterday at the G7, the first session, completely focused on Iran and the fact that there has been an escalation with Tehran being evacuated, embassies being almost nearly shut down, and their nationals being moved out of Tehran, foreign nationals being moved out of Tehran. The situation is rather dire, and so President Trump has decided that he is going to leave the G7 summit that is being held in Canada a day earlier. On Monday night itself, he will be leaving for the United States of America and has called for a National Security Council meet as soon as he reaches Washington, D.C. So very important that he's returning early. He's not staying on for the next day. And after the critical sessions at the G7, he will be headed to D.C. to look at and get a sense of what's happening in West Asia, what they call the Middle East.
Right. Also, Geeta, this call to evacuate Tehran immediately, can this be seen as a protective measure for civilians, or is this a strategic move to increase the psychological pressure on Iran by Trump?
Well, absolutely not. The situation is rather dire, and therefore there is a need to ensure. And remember, in a social media post, Israel had put out very clearly spelling out that that a particular zone in Tehran should be evacuated since they are looking at attacking that area. So they've warned the civilians to leave the area, and therefore we are looking at situation that could spiral out of control in many ways than one. This even as Donald Trump has been saying that he's aiming for a nuclear deal with Iran, that he wants Iran back on the talking table, and that U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said that he will be headed to the Situation Room as soon as President Donald Trump leaves Canada for Washington, D.C. So the situation is rather dire right now, and the United States of America looking at whether if the situation could spiral out of control. So National Security Council meet is going to take place. The team is going to be in the Situation Room before President Trump arrives.
All right, Geeta, thank you for getting us all those details and for that context.